Hey, folks, my guest today is Taavi. He has a passion for finding actionable value using data, all by applying machine learning. He's doing this building FIMA.ai right now. We're going to jump in today again. No code AI computer vision tool. Taavi, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me, first of all.
You bet. Okay, so it's a no code, again, AI computer vision software. Who's paying for this and how are they using it?
So, the idea basically got started that it's really difficult to build computer vision applications. FIMA by itself is currently targeted at commercial real estate developers, anybody who has physical environments that have movement in them that people need to track. And also out of home advertising companies. So people who have billboards, people who want to understand what's going on their billboards. But the technology itself has potential to be used everywhere. But that's the first two verticals that we're tackling at the moment.
And do they basically attach this to their cameras, right? The commercial real estate or the billboards to track metrics and
Yeah,
people walking in front?
that's the idea basically. So we're one of the first companies out there who doesn't deal in any hardware. We take your existing CCTV cameras, push the stream to our AI brain, and give you data out. And it really is as simple as that. And there's no integration fees. There's no nothing. You just press a couple of buttons and you start gathering data.
So, Taavi, your software enables these cameras to recognize that's a pedestrian, that's a car, that's a male, that's a female. What data set did you purchase to fuel and train your model, or are you built on something that's open source?
So both basically we have our own data sets, so we're gathering data ourselves as well. We did use open source data sets like Coco data sets to start, but we're a long way from that. So I think our data sets now are above 200,000, 300,000 images at the moment. So yeah, it's growing by the day basically at the
Mhm.
moment.
What does someone who owns a commercial shopping center, for example, pay you on average to use your technology each month?
It depends because the solution is so easy to use. We charge per month per camera, so it depends on how many cameras they want to look at, and
Yep.
it can vary from day to day as well. So at one point, you have new COVID restrictions or whatever, and you want to measure everything. So you pay for 50 cameras, and the other day, you just want to see business as usual, and you pay for 10 cameras.
Mhm.
So it depends a lot actually
People are
on the use
changing their
case
billing
and
every single day.
well, it's a software as a service, so you can do that. You can click,
Yep.
add
I
one
use a
camera,
bunch
remove
of
another one.
I use a bunch of SaaS tools. There's none of them where I go in and I upgrade and downgrade every single day based off a usage metric.
Yeah, the thing with the commercial real estate is that they very often want to run experiments and measurements. So, for example, think of it like this: I have a shopping center and I have a parking lot outside. My idea is I'm going to order 10 food trucks there, and I want to see what happens. For those 10 food trucks, I'm going to take 10 cameras outside, attach them to FIMA, and measure something. So these types of experiments can be run. But yes, you are correct in the sense that most of the cameras we have are like 24/7 running at the moment.
I see. So what do you charge per camera per month?
So right now we charge 200 euros per camera per month.
Okay, so call it 225 US dollars or something like that.
Yeah.
And the average logo, the average brand that signs up for you, how much cameras do they onboard on day one?
So it depends. I think the last average I looked is around 20 cameras, but
Okay.
it can be one, it can be 50.
Yep. So can we take, I mean, again, I'm looking at a sweet spot here. 20 cameras,
20
225 a month
cameras.
is about 4,500 per month when a new brand signs up. Is that about right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
interesting.
correct.
Give me the backstory here. How did you get the idea? When did you write the first line of code for this?
So we got started around 2 years ago, and I've been working with applied machine learning for about 8 years now, I've been working with large corporates, and I've been trying to run my own AI consultancy business. And this idea actually got started from when I was sort of bootstrapping my own AI consultancy business, and we were doing a project for a city here in Tallinn, Estonia, where they wanted to measure cars on city streets. Basically, sounds easy enough, right? But what ended up happening was that project from start to finish took 6 months. So we had to find data science resources, we had to gather the data, we had to train the model, we had to put that model to run on some infrastructure somewhere, and then we had to visualize the data with some software. So it took 6 months to actually get something out of it. And now with FIMA, you can do it in 20 seconds, basically. So the trouble of sort of building custom AI applications is where this pain got started from. Mm-hmm. Now it's a lot easier to do it, basically. But there is a very important part in this, is that you can only do it in a specific niche. And in computer vision, we're doing it in the CCTV camera angle, because you can't, at least not yet, make an AI algorithm that can, look at everything.
Yep. Okay, interesting. I love the niche focus. Commercial real estate makes a lot of sense to me. Talk to me about how many customers you're working with now today.
So right now, I think we're working with about 10 to 15 customers, but we are running a bunch of pilots in the UK at the moment. So the customers we can talk about is the Queen Elizabeth Park area in London, in the Upper East Side of London. That's where the 2012 London Olympics were set up. So we have like 30 cameras set up there. And yeah, basically inside London, outside London, in exhibition centers, trials are ongoing. So we have a lot of traction that has sort of recently come up there.
So Taavi, last month, how many paid cameras were on your network?
How many paid cameras? I think around 50.
Around 50 total. Okay, across 10 customers. Is that right?
Yes.
50 across 10 customers. Okay. And I mean, so if we take 50 across 10 customers at $225 a camera, that means you guys are doing about $11,000 a month in revenue right now?
Not that much, because the thing is that most of these are still in pilot phase. So we're doing around half that, I think.
Okay, got it. So about $6,000 a month in revenue, but still, everyone has to start from zero. So congrats on your first $6,000 a month. Now, have you bootstrapped all this, or did you raise?
No, we have raised 2 rounds. So we raised our pre-seed round of 250K, I think, in 2019. And we raised a seed round of 1.55 million euros December last year.
Mm-hmm. And walk me through sort of what you use that money on.
So basically, that money went mainly into research and development, getting the cost down of running the GPUs, running the machine learning models and the neural networks, testing out different verticals, because we didn't start with commercial real estate. We started in various different ways where we saw a problem, but this is where we sort of ended up as in our sweet spot. And then taking the UK market, that's been a big one as well. So entering that market.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Okay. So you raised the 1.5, and again, you're doing about $6,000 a month right now in revenue. What were you doing exactly a year ago? Do you remember?
That's a good question. I think a year ago, we were launching our first version of the web application, and we didn't have any paying customers.
Got it. So 0 back then. Nice. So interesting. So when you go out and raise the 1.5 million, but you're pre-revenue, how do you come up with the valuation to raise that?
Well, it depends, basically, because we did have a very good idea. We did have an understanding of how the market worked and what the total market size would be in computer vision applications, how the consulting market would look like. We had a very good lead investor who helped us figure this out as well, to be honest. So they have helped us put together our valuation. So that's how it came together, basically.
Mm-hmm. And so what valuation did you end up using?
Don't quote me on this, because I don't remember by heart, but I think it was around 5 million.
Okay. And did that feel right to you, or in the right range?
I think it felt right in the stage we were at, and also in the sort of area we were at as well.
Mm-hmm. And when you say we, did you have a co-founder here?
Yes, I do. I have a co-founder called Karen Burns. So she's actually the CEO of the company, and I'm the CTO. Did
you guys split equity 50-50 at the start?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So now it's what, like 40-40, and then investors own 20%, something like that?
Something like that. I don't really know the capital by heart, but yeah.
No, just curious. Now, you've had some growth. I mean, you've grown revenue since your last round. Are you planning on raising anytime soon?
Well, we have a pretty decent runway still to go. So depending on when we will raise and what we will raise, I can answer that question once we have a couple of projects end.
Yeah,
let's put it like this.
Tell me more about your team. How many full-time today?
I think at the moment, the entire team is around 12, 13 people. Most of it's technical team. We've recently been putting a lot of effort into sales and marketing as well, because we see that's a big part of how you get the name out there. But yeah, most of it's basically software development, data scientists, data labelers, all of that part.
How many engineers?
I think engineers, so software, I think 4, and data science, I think 3 or 4 also.
Got it. So about 7 there total on the engineering side. Nice. And then what about churn? Have you had anyone pay you and then stop paying you?
Yes, but only for short-term customers who came in as short-term projects. So we have customers like, hey, I'm turning this street that's usually meant for cars, we're turning this into a pedestrian street for the summer. Let's measure how traffic works there. That has happened on 2 occasions, basically. So churn currently has only been for short-term projects that were meant to be short-term projects, but no one has actually churned from being a customer to not being a customer yet. And the thing with this is that while our sales cycles tend to be pretty long because it's enterprise sales and it's commercial real estate, once a customer comes with us, they really don't have a reason to leave because they're gathering data for a year, 2 years, 10 years, and the product actually gets better on the back end as well because it's a software product instead of a hardware product, right?
Very cool. Hey, this makes a lot of sense. I love the story, Taavi. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite book?
What's my favorite book? Recently, my favorite book is actually President Obama's book. I really like that one.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
No, there isn't. And I don't do this on purpose.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building FIMA?
My favorite online tool for building FIMA? Slack, definitely.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Oof, 6.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
In a relationship.
Okay, not married. Any kids?
Nope.
Okay, and how old are you, Taavi?
I'm 32.
32. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Something I wish I knew when I was 20. I think I wish I knew at 20 that university knowledge is not the same as real world knowledge.
Guys, there you have it. FIMA launched back in 2019. They're helping folks like malls or folks that look at traffic patterns use cameras to understand where pedestrians are, where cars are, run estimates and experiments. They were doing no revenue exactly a year ago, now doing about $6,000 a month in revenue as they look to scale. They did a $1.5 million seed last round at a $5 million valuation, now scaling with our team of 13, trying to move more of these pilots into paid customers. Taavi, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks for having me.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.